So hello everyone and welcome again to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do the next question in this series and the question is reverse words in a string. So this is the question which we are going to do today. So let's read this question. So the question states that we are given an input string S. We have to reverse the order of the word. A word is defined as a sequence of non-space characters. The word in S will be separated by at least one space. So and return a string of word in reverse order concatenated by a single space. So the question states that we have been given an input string S and it is given that it contains words which is all at least separated by one space. It may be separated by multiple number of spaces, but there must be at least one space to separate one word. And we have to return an output string which contains the words present in this S string but in reverse order. In example, you can see that the word blue is at the first position and the is at the last position. So we have to reverse the position of these words and we have to return the output string such a way that the space between each word is going to be one space, similarly single space, no more than one space. Now here is given a note that S may contain leading or trailing spaces. So it is saying that S may contain spaces before its start or after end. So here you can see in example 2 there are leading and trailing spaces or multiple spaces between the words. So also you will see that there are multiple spaces in between. The return string should only have a single space separating word, and it is saying that the return string will contain only single space in between the words. Do not include any extra space. So this is the question to, and we have to reverse the word in this string. So let's see how we can do that. So let's take this example number 1 and understand how we can solve this question. So here you can see there is given an input string and we have to find the output string, and it is clear that what it has done that the last index element is at the first position, second last is at the second position, third last is at the third position, and the first one is at the last position. So this is what we have to do. Now to achieve this we have two ways which we can achieve. So we can traverse this string from the beginning also and from the last also. So if you start traverse and get the words one by one and put it or concatenate in the output string, so we can achieve this. So let's see how we are going to do this. So let's take this example one, and in example one, let's see a simple case in which we have trailing spaces and we also have heading spaces. So this is the question. Let's assume this is our input string. So this is our string. So what we are going to do, we have to find this word, because when we get that word, so we can concatenate it. So in order to get this word, what we do, let's assume we are going to start from the last index. So we start from the last index. Let's assume it is going to be I initially. So we are going to traverse from the last and find traversing until we do not reach at a position where the position value is not equals to a space. So it is going to be this E because its value is not a space. So what we do, we assign a value j to it. Now again we start traversing in this string, and when we reach at a position where we find a space again. So if we find a space again, that means that we have started from the last index of the word and we reach at the last first position of the word. So we are at this position which is I. So what we are getting in between this I and j is a word. So using this I and j, we are going to concatenate it in the output string. So this is the overall approach which we are going to follow. So let's see how we can solve this question. So what we are going to do is that first take a size of this string and s equals to let's check l equals to s dot length. Now next what we have to do, we have to check for a while loop using a while loop. So we are going to run a while loop and let's take a value int which is going to be our I is equals to error starting from which index we are starting from L minus 1 index. So I is equals to L minus 1. Now we are going to check while our I is greater than equals to 0. We are going to run this because we are starting from the last index. So we are going to run it to the last position, well, first position. Now in while loop, what we have to do? we have to first remove all the trailing and heading spaces. So here first we are going to remove the trailing spaces. So we are going to run a while loop again, and we are going to check until our I is greater than equals to 0, and our SI, which is going to be value at that position in the string, is equals to space. So what we do, we are going to do I minus. Now by using this, we reach at the first index, which is going to be E. So what we have to do, we have to just assign a value j equals to I. It is going to keep a index pointer. Now again we have to check that maybe while we are using this first while loop, the loop may end. So we have to check if our I is less than 0, we have to break. Okay. Now, if this is not true, then we are going to again move, and we are also again going to run a while loop to run over this word. So we are going to check until our I is greater than equals to 0 and our SI is not equals to a space. Then what we are going to do, we are going to do I minus. So by this, we finally reach at a position where there is a space, because we have checked for this position, and when we are at this position, the I is going to be I minus minus, so it is going to reach at its next position. Now again, what we have to do, we have to check that if our, and let's take our answer string. So we are going to take a string ans equals to, let's take an empty string. So we were going to check if our ANS string is equals to empty. That means our string is empty. We are going to concatenate it first. So what we have to do, we have to simply do ANS plus equals to, we are going to concatenate, and which is the value we have to concatenate, which is going to be s dot substring, substring, and we have to give the indexes. So it is going to be a starting index, it's going to be I plus 1, and it is going to be count, which is going to be length of the word. So how we get the length, we get the length by j minus I. So that's how we are going to concatenate. Now in else part, if it already has some value, so we have to separate it by one space mentioned in the question. So we are going to first concatenate a space is equals to uh, space, and again we have to do the same. That means we have to concatenate the word. Okay, so this is the final. Now we have to finally return ANS. So this is the code. Now let's try to run this code. So this is accepted. Now let's try to submit this code. Okay, so it is successfully submitted. So this is the question for today. So this is a simple question in which you can solve this question very easily. And there are multiple ways which you can solve this question. One of the way is this one, which is a simple approach. So that's all for today video. Thank you.